we can all agree that there's a crisis right now that's posing a lot of confusion and anxiety to many. Things have changed, and there's a lot of changes in terms of what and how different universities will be dealing with changes, and how, as a grade 12 learner, you can prepare yourself to deal with this. Most governments across the world close their educational institutions, and a record number of young people are currently not attending school. And according to UNESCO, these nationwide closures are impacting almost 70% of the world's student population. Several other countries have implemented localized closures impacting millions of additional learners. This has also been a reality for South Africa too, where universities have had to close while looking for ways and solutions to address the challenges that come with these disruptions. While all this is happening, you are at home probably stressing out and worried about your options and ability to access university next year. And this is why Jakes Gerwel is running and bringing you a series of talks to address some of these pressing issues, and maybe a lot of questions that you have. We will take some time to look at them and help you explore what is available when it comes to accessing university and all of those things. Just to recap, this series started yesterday, and we had Professor Jonathan Jansen, who spoke on the motivation side of things and gave us some insightful tips on how you can come out even stronger from this crisis. He challenged all of us to come out stronger, more focused, and a better person. And he says that it's up to you really to define what coming out stronger looks like. Today, we have a guest from Wits who will unpack their responses to helping you and addressing your questions and thoughts you have around admissions, etc. And we have 3 more episodes lined up for this week. As you can see, we have UJ, we have UP and UCT as well. From 9 June, we'll explore different bursary providers, and you do not want to miss that one. That's why I was saying, please make sure that you are registered for all our webinars so that you are kept in contact. So you can see, please engage with us and start asking questions and sending those comments. We are live right now on Facebook as well. So in the comment section, you can just start dropping your questions. We are also on Zoom. If you are connecting with us using the Zoom platform, please use chat or the Q&A section to connect with us. We are also on Twitter. If you just want to drop some comments, you can find us at JG Fellowship and use the hashtag JGF webinar. We will be also sharing outputs of these videos and all these conversations on YouTube. So search for Jakes Gerwel Fellowship, subscribe, and turn on the notifications to make sure that you don't miss a thing. The current state of things might look messy, but to be honest, life continues, and so should you. Today, I'm pleased to present Sharon Mashau from Wits University to speak to us about recruitment in these interesting learning times. Welcome, Shares, and please proceed to your presentation. I will stop my sharing now and allow you to share.
Thank you very much, Mpho. Welcome, everybody. I think the first question that you're going to ask yourself is, why Wits? Why do you have to choose Wits out of all these universities in the country and maybe abroad? Well, Wits is one of the top 2 universities in Africa, not only in Africa, of course, in South Africa as well. And we are within the 250 universities across the globe. Now, interestingly, you would know that apart from being the first in the top 250 university, we've been ranked in different university rankings, of which with the QS ranking, we have been placed at #1 in Africa. That is with our humanities faculty. As it stands, we've got different resources that we assist our learners with. We've got world-class resources, which is our infrastructure resources. These are resources that are used as a place where learners can go into. For example, we've got our Tshimolohong Present, which is a digital hub or innovation hub where learners can actually go into to just practice their innovations and create something out of nothing. We also have digital resources which actually assist us in teaching and learning. Now, those digital resources include smart classrooms. We also have smart labs, and we also have some technologies that actually assist us in terms of the fourth industrial revolution to make sure that we are abreast with what is happening with technology. Now, as it stands now, again, if you look into why VETS, as it stands now, VETS has about 97% of its graduates that actually get employed within 1 year of graduating. Now, that is something that we apply ourselves with, because if you get your qualification from VETS, it simply means you're not going to stay at home. You will be able to get employment as quickly as possible. So that's one thing that gives us a competitive edge. Although that is the case, we also have a situation where you'll find that we can't accommodate everybody at Wits University. So we've got a student cap that we need to look into every year. Now, last year we got 69,000 applications, and out of 69,000 warm bodies, we're only able to take 4,900. Keep in mind, with the 4,900, we give learners 3 chances to choose their courses. So you choose 3 options, so you can multiply that by 3, and it will tell you how many applications we actually get. Now, when learners apply, we are required, you are required to submit your grade 11 final results. And that is what we will use to calculate your APS to see if you can qualify for admission into the qualification. But that is not the final decision that we'll make based on your grade 11 report. The final decision is still based on your grade 12 report. Now, the next is your APS scores. Now, as far as APS scores are concerned, we've got our own way of calculating APS scores. Now, we calculate APS score from level 3 until level 8, whereby NSC gives you scores in level 1s to level 7. Now, what we say to you is that should you get 60% and above in English and math, we'll give you extra 2 points, meaning 60%, which is level 5, it will be level 7, 70 to 79, level 8, 90, 80 to 89, level 9, 90 to 100, level 10. Keep in mind, we start counting our APS scores from level 3. We also count APS on life orientation. Now, our life orientation, we only started at 60%, which is your level 1, right through to 90 to 100, which is level 4. And all other subjects are counted from level 3 to level 8. Now, with your APS scores again, please note, you will be required to use 7 subjects as your basis of calculation. So we are going to take 7 subjects, but we're going to also look into the subject requirement per faculty. So if a certain faculty has specific subjects that are required, we're going to look into getting for you to get those, and then you will add to make the 7. So why am I mentioning this? We have learners in schools whereby you find that they're doing 8 subjects, 9 subjects, you know, things like AP Maths, Drama, AP English, Technical Science, and things like that. Now, we count all of those. The most important thing is that you will still need your English if it will be required for all qualification. Maths, if it's required. Life orientation, obviously, if it will be required as well, because we also give you points for that. Now, let's go into faculties. We've got 5 faculties. Now, we're going to start with Commerce Law and Management. Now, with Commerce Law and Management, our minimum APS there is 39, with a maximum of 43, and 43 is your Bachelor's of Law degree or BCom Law. this is how you're going to calculate your APS. I'm going to just break it down for you so that you understand, so that when we go further, you'll get to understand how I break it down. A year of study for BCom General, where you choose your own specialization. Please note, it's a 3-year qualification, 39 APS, Maths and English, levels 5. Also note, if you want to go into accounting science and economic science, your APS will be 42 there, Maths at level 6, English, or English, which is the language, at level 5. Now with LLB, the last one there, LLB, you can be able to do LLB. Just note, if you are doing LLB, you can take 2 streams in this faculty. It can either be commerce, commerce in law, or you can just do LLB, which is a straight 4-year degree. Now with Bachelor of Commerce with Law, you will require COMET, whereas with LLB, you can be able to do it with Maths Lit. Now your Maths Lit, however, you will require a higher APS. Can we go to the next slide, please? Now with the next slide is Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment. Now within this faculty, we've got different engineering qualifications as well as the built environment qualifications. Now, what is most important here is to know that all our engineering courses takes 42 APS, Maths, English, and Physics at levels 5. If you want to study under the built environment, where we start with architectural studies, that's where you'll get changes there in terms of the requirements. Your architectural studies is 34 APS, Maths and English at level 4, but you will be required to submit a written or drawing exercise, and you might also be called to do an interview if you want to get into architectural studies. Now, again, your urban and regional planning, construction and property studies takes APS 36, Maths and English at levels 5. Next slide, please. Now, the next slide is the health sciences. Now, health science works differently. With health sciences, we do require you to meet those specified levels. However, we don't count APS. What we use here is what we call the composite index point. Now, with the composite index point, we use your 5 subjects, and they should include subject requirements, which would be Maths, English, Physics, and or life science. But if you're going to be doing dental science, note you will need both life science and physical sciences. Different levels apply for different qualifications. Please keep that in mind. And also remember, oral health sciences, you can do it with Maths at level 4 or Maths Lit at level 5. Actually, this is the only qualification in health science that take Maths Lit. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take 5 of your subjects, add them together. And after we've added them together, we're going to take 50% from the actual percentages. You're going to write NBT tests, and the NBT test, you have to write them, and you write Maths and English, and you're going to have to submit those results. We're going to need those results, and then we're going to take 50% from those as well. Now, when we add those together, we get what we call the composite index point, and whatever point you get, it will give us indication as to which qualification you best suit into. Just remember, you need to still choose 3 qualifications, either 3 within the faculty or 3 in different faculties. Keep in mind, if you want to go into oral health, dental science, occupational therapy, and as well as physiotherapy, you will be required to do 16 hours of observation. This is job shadowing, actually. So you will be required to go to a physio center or a dental practice. Go there just with a paper. You go now online, you download the form that will be required to be completed. When you get there, you just sit and observe. And then when you complete those hours, they will make sure that they complete the document for you to submit. Now, The next faculty that we're going to move into is our humanity faculties. That's where you do Bachelor of Arts qualifications. Bachelor of Arts minimum APS there is 34 with a maximum of 43, which is BA Law. Keep in mind, if you want to go into BA Law, your maths and maths lit requirement there is 3 and 4. If you want to go into BA in digital arts right through to music, keep in mind you'll be required to either do auditions, submit a portfolio or a written assignment up and above the minimum requirements required. Bachelor of Education Foundation phase and intermediate phase is 36 APS. English at level 5, maths and maths lit, maths level 4 or maths lit level 5. Senior phase, however, doesn't have a maths requirement. Note, if you want to go into speech language pathology and audiology as well as social work, you will be required to also write NBT test. For those who want to go into social work, NBTs, you will be required to write the English part only. Next slide, please. Bachelor of Sciences, minimum APS there is 40 to a maximum of 43. One thing that I want you guys to keep in mind here is the fact that we do have qualifications in this field that doesn't have a physical science requirement. For example, the first two blocks there, Bachelor of Science General as well as Biological Sciences, Geography and Archaeology, Geospatial, together with Computer Science and Mathematics of Finance, they don't have the maths requirement. Again, sciences, Faculty of Sciences is one of the faculties that has a lot of difference in terms of subject requirements, and you need to make sure that you meet those subject requirements. An example there, if you look into actuarial sciences, it's 40 APS, which is the minimum in the faculty, but your maths, English, and physical science is at level 7 minimum. So you can get the 40 APS with those maths, English, and physics as maybe maths 6 or physics 5. Keep in mind, if you want to go into actuarial science, you wouldn't make it if you can't reach a minimum of 7 in all the 3. You have to have those minimums, even if you've got your 40. All right, how to apply? You can move, it's fine. Mpho, you can go to the next slide. Okay, how to apply? All our applications are done online. You need to choose your program, upload the documents, pay the application fee of 100 Rand. Please note, our application for residence fee has been waived. So you don't have to pay, you only have to pay the application fee, which is 100 Rand for application to study. Submit your application, and then you will have to access the self-service portal to check if you have been accepted or if there's any additional requirements that you need to submit. And I just want to also get you to know, due to the situation that we are in, note that the NBT test, our NBT tests are normally due on the 15th of August. But because of what is currently happening in the country, our NBT test will be required by end of December. So you still have the whole year to make sure that you go and write those NBT tests and submit the results to us. And I think another thing that I would like to mention is to please remember grade 11 results. That's what you will want. You will need to submit final grade 11. Closing dates. Now, as far as closing dates are concerned, our closing dates remain the same. We haven't changed them. Health sciences, architecture, audiology, speech language pathology, as well as film and television, they close end of June, and end of September is all other sub qualifications as well as the residents. So make sure, I just want to encourage you, please, when you apply to study, don't leave residence and say, I will apply for residence later. Make sure that you apply, complete the application, go back to the portal, then apply for your residence as well. And make sure that by the time you leave the system, the Wits application system. You've applied for your residence, you've applied for your studies, and also remember to choose all 3 qualifications that you would want to do. Next slide, please. Now, there's different ways you can actually fund your studies. Wits, just like any other public institutions, we do administer NSFAS. Now, fundings can range from self-funding, parents, bursaries, bank loans, of course, NSFAS. But now this is how NSFAS works. NSFAS is the National Student Financial Aid, whereby if your family household income is less than 350,000, you can apply and you'll be able to study for free, everything covered, residence, tuition fee, meals, even stipend. If it happens that your family household income is between 350 and 600,000, what's going to happen is that your parents will still be required to pay for your fees, but an increase in your studies is the gap that the government will pay for. So you will still be required to pay, but come the second year and there's a certain amount of increase on the fees, that difference will be paid by NSFAS, but you need to make sure that you apply for that as well. Some things to remember when you come to varsity: you will need some allowance in the first month or 2, whereby you obviously need meals for yourself, maybe clothing. You might also need to buy some textbooks before you get your funds coming in, computers, tools to study. And of course, medication. You'll never know what will happen when you get there. There's a whole lot of things that you get across when you get to varsity: new environment, new climate. So you need to make sure that you are covered at least for the first month, first and a half or 2 months. So keep that in mind. Next slide, please. Now, scholarships. We do have a couple of scholarships at Wits. And please note, our scholarship, you don't apply for them except for the sports scholarship. We've got the Equality Scholarship, which is for quintiles 1 and 2 schools. And we also have, I'm just going to mention some flagships here. Our Vice Chancellor Scholarship is also one of our flagship scholarship, which pays for tuition fees for your studies for the 10 most outstanding matriculants in the country who applied at Wits. So it's not just anyone. You should apply in order for you to stand a chance to get the funding. And remember, you don't apply for the scholarship, you apply to study at Wits. Now, the entrance scholarship works in this way. It's a once-off scholarship when you start. We take your 6 subjects, excluding life orientation. If your APS is between 43 and 44, we'll give you 10,000 Rand towards your tuition, 45 to 47, 15, 48 to 50, 30, and 51 plus will give you 42,000 Rand. So those are the scholarships available for Wits University. Next slide, please. Now, as a student, you will need to be able to enjoy your academic journey. You want to come to university and make sure that you not only have a good first year experience, but enjoy your studies throughout. Now, that is enabled by balancing your life between academic life as well as social life. So the most important thing that you need to make sure that is get involved. We do have career and counseling development unit that you can go to if you're experiencing any anxieties or troubles. We've got student representative council that you can actually talk to. We've got outreach programs, citizenship outreach programs that you can get involved in. You can get involved in any type of sports that we offer. And if you're an athlete, you also stand a chance of getting a bursary if you qualify. And societies are there as well, that just to keep yourself sane in the academic industry, because you can easily get lost. But the most important thing with all this, it's okay to join all these things. The most important thing is that you need to remember you are there to study, you are there to get your qualification, and make sure that that is your priority. Next slide, please. Now, residence life. Wits has 17 residents, and 1 in 5 of Wits are able to be accommodated in our 17 residents. We do give priority to our first year students because we believe they're the most vulnerable and they need the more security, because it will be your first time. Some it will be your first time in Joburg, some it will just be your first time in a place whereby you are far from home, because there are those who are used to staying alone, like learners who are staying in hostels where they are studying far from home. But if you were staying at home, you will feel that if you are away from home, you need some sort of security. So that is the one thing that we stress a lot, to say your security is our priority. That's why we say we make sure that we prioritize our first years. So within those residents, there's a whole lot of activities that you can get involved in, but we make sure that we provide you with as much as we can to make sure that you are as comfortable as you can be. Thank you very much. We've come to the end of the presentation. Now, the most important thing I think for you is to take the step. As I said, 1, the closing dates remains the same. Make sure that you apply end of June. You've seen there's a couple of qualifications that are closing, others is in September. Make sure that you apply while there's still time. If you need any help, there's an email address at the end of the presentation, which I think it will be shared with you again. Please send us an email. The university has not yet opened, so please don't call the call center line now, because there's nobody there. So make sure that you send us emails and we'll be able to attend to your queries as best as we can. If you go to our website and you go to schools liaison page, there's also contact details there where you can get our individual email addresses. You can also email us, email Student Enrollment Center. We are here for you to answer you. Please talk to us, we'll assist you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shares. I think that was a really great presentation, but there's one thing I'd like to ask you right now. Can you just switch on your video first? I'm sure people would like to see you. I'd like to see you too. And while you do that, I just wanted to ask, the conversation around this crisis, the pandemic and COVID-19 is something that we cannot ignore. And I'd like to know, how has this affected Wits and the applications process and everything? And what changes are there that will affect the applicant as well? What is it that they need to be mostly aware of? Or is everything as, you know, as good as before? What changes has there been because of this crisis?
Look, as it stands now, the change that we're actually facing is just the fact that now we are moved to doing, you know, webinar instead of, you know, going to schools and see them. But as far as applications are concerned, our applications have been online. They're still online. Our systems are working perfectly. They can go online and apply online. I think what is actually causing a fear at the moment is, you know, can't I submit my junior exams, but now I will know the learners are not going to write their junior exams. The most important thing that they need to remember is that they've got their grade 11 results, and that is what we consider at the moment. Any other results that we're going to look for is the final grade 12 results. So as it is now, there's no need for them to panic. And I think I've mentioned the fact that with NSFAS, with NBTs, for those who are going to write NBTs, we've said our normal closing date, deadline for NBTs is August, but it has been extended to the end of the year. So they don't have to worry about if they miss the deadline of August, if it's going to be a problem or things like that. So far, everything is still running smoothly. I think the only thing as it stands now is the fact that they won't be able to talk to us if they call the call center line. Hence, we advise them to send us the email.
Okay. I see session is no longer online. We do.
I think he's busy answering questions. I've seen some questions coming up here. He's actually, yeah, I think he's answering questions on the, yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Can I maybe just add in, colleagues?
Yes.
Yes, session, go ahead.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I think Shaz has covered all of the essential topics, but just to re-emphasize what she's just mentioned, you know, that the NBT deadline has been moved to December. That is 100% correct, that you would need to write it. It is compulsory in order to calculate the composite index score. We have placed a statement, I've posted one on the chat group as well. The certificate of attendance hours have also been extended until December. And please just take note that we will accept the job shadowing as far back as the 1st of July, 2018. We know that, you know, learners are particularly excited about this aspect, and they may have started this journey a little earlier. So we welcome to consider those hours as far back as the 1st of July. In terms of application fees, we are encouraging people to still pay before the 30th of September. If you do experience any difficulties, obviously you can contact the Student Enrollment Center, and you may be granted some leeway until the end of December. But we're obviously encouraging people to look at internet banking and EFTs. Please note that residents, I think Shaz may have mentioned this, but residents no longer requires a separate application fee. So that's quite an advantage. I know people have been asking about closing dates and possibility of late applications or extensions. Our applications opened in March, and they will still close on the 30th of June and the 30th of September, as Shaz has mentioned. So currently no changes, no extensions. There will be no late applications considered. And learners are encouraged to please just apply before those deadlines. You do have sufficient time, and you can do those online now between obviously when they open in March and the relevant deadlines. The only date changes are the NBTs and the certificates of attendance. In terms of the university academic years for 2020 and 2021, the Department of Basic Education and Higher Education will advise both schools and universities on those calendars. So Wits will follow what has been prescribed by the government in accordance with COVID-19 regulations and procedures. You may be wondering why you've been receiving several communications from us. And just remember that if you apply to 3 degrees and all the decisions were the same, then you would have received one set of communication. But if there were different outcomes, because remember, we make 3 independent decisions at Wits. There's no ranking order for your degree choices. So that is why you may have received different responses, and also the programs that have additional requirements. Hence why you may have gotten different responses. So if you want to confirm that, you can check the self-service portal. I think there's major concerns still about grade 11 results. Guys, you do need to submit your final grade 11 results, your cumulative marks. No other interim grade 12 marks or matric results are required. So don't panic if you haven't done well in grade 11. We will reassess you. We'll reassess your application when we receive your final grade 12. So you can still secure your place at Wits if you work hard. The only exceptions being programs that have additional selection criteria and where Wits might not wait for your final grade 12 results. If you've performed poorly in additional requirements like auditions, NBTs, etc. So yeah, just I hope that's helped alleviate some of the fears and concerns. Are there any maybe other questions or anything else? Shaz, do you want to add on?
Yes. Can I just add 2 questions? The first one is it possible to cancel an application that has already been submitted, as I want to make changes to it?
Okay, so it wouldn't necessarily be cancelling, but it would be making an amendment. And you're welcome to contact your admission consultant. I think a lot of applicants don't realize, but at the top right-hand side corner of all your communication, so you can have a look at the first set of communication you received. You've been assigned a person by name and surname, and that person is there to help you. So you can gladly contact them. You can pop them an email and ask them to amend your application. So there's no need to cancel. You're welcome to make an amendment there.
Okay. Just one question I'd like to ask both of you. Sharon spoke to how important it is to apply to as many universities as possible, and that's what we tell kids as well. But I'd like to know, why Wits? Why should, if I'm a parent, I should encourage my child to go to Wits? If I'm a grade 12 right now, what makes Wits special compared to other universities, and why should I come to Wits?
Well, I'm gonna take a stab at this, Shaz, if you don't mind. You're welcome to maybe add on as well. If you look at our preparation before COVID-19, our focus was strongly on areas like the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and that's preparing for kids for life beyond COVID-19. You're looking at areas like quantum computing. We've got the IBM Research Hub. It's only one of two in Africa. It's based at the Samolokong precinct, which is a digital innovation zone. Quantum computing, artificial intelligence. You're looking at blockchain technology. So also employing some of that technology in the classrooms. We have e-zones, we have future libraries. We're using virtual reality in some of our teaching and some of our classrooms. So it's a fantastic place to be, but it's such a diverse campus. It's in a melting pot. You know, it's such a cosmopolitan campus. And what we believe makes us unique at Wits is not just what you're going to learn inside of the classroom. We prepare you for life beyond the classroom. And if you look at the people that have succeeded, Shaz probably touched on this as well in terms of, you know, your alumni like Patrice Motsepe, Adrian Gore, Zanya Musaka. If you look at these individuals that have become leaders in their respective fields, I think that's what Wits can offer you. But finding a university is about finding the right fit. It's not necessarily chasing a particular university. You know, you need to look at the degrees. You need to look at what you're going to get from the holistic experience as well. So yeah, that's just my little add-on there.
Great. Thanks, Session. Thanks, Shaz. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. We can't take all the questions, but I'd encourage everyone to keep dropping them. We will compile and send them to Wits so that they can possibly answer you and make sure that you have all the answers that you need. Thank you, Shaz. Thank you, Session.
Thanks, Mpho. Can we maybe just give a final message from our side?
Yes, please.
100%. So we would like to wish all the matriculants all the best of luck with their studies this year. You know, we know that it's a massively difficult year, lots of anxieties, lots of concerns. We here at Wits are willing to help you guys along the way. So please do contact your admission consultants. For those of you that haven't applied, you can contact the www.wits.ac.za/ask-Wits. That's our Zen desk, and they can, field all of your questions. But don't give up. We look forward to welcome you guys at Wits next year. And yeah, remember, even the word impossible, if you break it up, it actually reads as I'm possible. So look forward to welcoming you.
Thanks, Session. Yeah. So for those that were not here yesterday, I did share a bit about what we do at Jakes Gerwel. We are a full scholarship, university scholarship that provides extensive mentoring and leadership development for top learners with a passion for teaching and education. Our applications are currently open. Please head over to our website to apply. If you are a teacher or a leader and you know a superstar that would make an expert teacher, educational leader, or an entrepreneur, you can also go onto our website to nominate them. There's an easy process you can follow there. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., we will have a guest from UCT that will speak to us about their process, why you should go to UCT, why UCT is interesting, and some of the measures that they are taking in response to the current crisis. This is a reminder to please join us tomorrow before we have a date. And then this has been really an interesting conversation with Wits today. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are. And good luck with everything with your studies. See you again tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Thank you so much. Bye.